Today I'm going to share with you some of my favorite sensory resources that help to target visual input. So if you've got a child who's seeking visual stimulation, these fidgets are ideal for them. The first one I've got to show you is this light crystal or sun crystal, I think they're sometimes called. Basically, it's just a glass crystal and it can hang in the sun, and when you place it in the sun, it has lots of different colors to it, lots of different movements in terms of where the sun's reflecting and deflecting. So these ones are really good for visual stimulation. These water games are good for visual stimulation as well. They're a little bit old school in some respects, but kids do seem to enjoy them. It also works your fine motor skills because you're using your fingers one at a time as opposed to being able to use your entire hand to grip things or move things. So it's good for training up fine motor skills, and it works really well with hand-eye coordination as you watch where the balls are going and you try and coordinate your fingers to make sure you're pushing the right button to get the balls going at the right time. So that's another good one. These kaleidoscopes are really good for visual stimulation. They have pictures and patterns and colors that change quickly as you manipulate the kaleidoscope through your hands. So they're a good one for classrooms or at home. Just be aware that the patterns and colors change quickly with the kaleidoscope, so it might not be the right tool for every child. Some children who have difficulties visually processing things might find this too stimulating and overloading for them. So just bear that in mind when you put this in your resource kit or take it home. The other thing that I would highly recommend having in your resource kit is wishies. These are great in terms of they're easy to use, they're easy to store, and they work really, really well. So what wishies do is they're filled with a clear liquid, usually, and you squeeze one side and move the confetti from one side back to the other side. They make a little bit of a sound as you push stuff through, so they help with a bit of auditory input as well. So these are awesome for visual stimulation, and they're a great sensory resource for at home or in the classroom. Today's video is going to show you some sensory toys that are great for manipulation. So using your hands to operate them, using fingers to work them. So I've got a whole pile here that I'm going to share with you. First one I've got is the cluster balls, which are sometimes called DNA balls, I think, and you can find them all over the place at the moment. So they're all completely connected, but they move around and you can squish them, twist them. You can sit there and line them up and then make shapes with them. So these ones are good for in the classroom or at home. And again, they're small, so they can go in backpacks, pencil cases, things like that. The other one I have is the gyro spinner, which has lots of different ways of spinning it, and they seem to be quite popular. And again, this is really small and not noisy, so great for classrooms or at home or in the car. This one here has balls in all these different places, and you can manipulate it by moving it through your hands and moving the balls around. You can turn it that way and move it around that way and spin the balls. You can use your fingers to spin the balls as well. But what I like with this one is you can actually turn it and it completely changes everything. So now you've got a maze to get your ball through. And when you've had enough, you pop it back and it's just a normal spinner again. So these ones are really great for at home or in the classroom. These ones are kind of fun. They're two balls connected, but as you can see, they can spin around each other. So you can sit there and spin them around like that. And obviously, the faster you go, the faster they spin. So these ones are great for in the classroom again. They fit in a pencil case and they're not very noisy. They've also got bumps on them, which creates a bit of texture for that sensory and tactile input. Magic snakes are great for visual stimulation, but they're also great for manipulation because you have to use your fingers to move the little bits and pieces around to create various shapes and designs using it. So these ones are really quiet and great for the classroom as well. These here are quite cool. They squish down. Some of them squish more than others. It depends on which plastic they've been made with or which material they've been made with. But they're really great for manipulating through your hands. So they start out like that and you squish them and they spring out. Some of them move a lot more smoothly than others, but these are really good. And if you're skilled enough and can use your fine motor skills, you can actually move them across a table or a floor or a surface that's quite smooth. So these are great ones for manipulation, working fine motor skills and hand muscles. Share your ideas with us if you've got any. Today I'm going to share with you some of my favorite sensory toys that target the auditory system. So if you have a child who seeks auditory input, these fidgets would be great for them. Probably not the best fidgets for in the classroom, as they can be quite noisy and potentially disruptive, but you might find that some of these fidgets would work perfectly in your classroom environment because of the way you've got it set up or the different areas you might have in your classroom. So watch and see if any of them are working for you or going to be great for your classroom, but they're definitely good for at home. One of the first ones I have is the pop tubes. You get these in big sizes and small sizes, and they are really, really great for kids who like auditory sound. They make the small ones are not too bad. So they just expand and you push them down. So they make two different sounds. The sound that they make when you stretch them out is quite different to the sound that they make when you put them together. So the small ones are not too loud, but the big ones definitely are. So not great for the classroom. They will probably be quite a distraction, but good if you've got auditory seeking children. The sensory worm, or caterpillar as they're often called, you can get these in lots of different styles. You get them in sharks and different things like that. So they're really good. They move around and they make a little bit of a noise, sort of a rattling noise. So again, another good auditory input one. The other one I have is the mini drums. These ones are really good for just gentle, calming sounds as opposed to loud, intense sounds. So if you've got a child who prefers quieter auditory input, then this is really good for that. It's really small, as you can see. It fits quite nicely in the palm of my hand, and very easy to use. Obviously you have your common ones that everybody's been seeing for years with your fidget pops. They make sounds as well, and these ones are also good for children who are auditory seeking but don't like those loud, intense sounds like the pop tubes. Monster screamers are another good one. You'll see lots of these around at the moment, and you just pull on their hair and they make a noise. So you can pull on it and let it go and it makes a noise, or you can hold on the hair and it makes the noise for a longer period of time and then stops. So as you can see, not good ones for the classroom, but again, they're great for children who like intense auditory input. Probably one of my most favorite and affordable ones is bubble wrap. You can pick up rolls of bubble wrap quite easily, and kids absolutely love the sound of the bubbles popping. So you can just do one by one, or you can scrunch it up and squeeze a whole bunch together. So if you are a little bit stuck and don't have the budget to buy tons of resources, bubble wrap is my go-to. The final one I have to show you is the Rainmaker. You can get these in different sizes as well, and these are really good for auditory seekers as well. I will just give you a tip to make sure that you're getting it for the right child. I have 2 children, and one of them absolutely loves the sound of the Rainmaker. The other one doesn't. But the other one likes the sound of the monster screamers, where my one that likes the Rainmaker doesn't like the monster screamers. So that's just an example of how different auditory seekers can deal with different sounds. Some sounds work for them and some sounds don't. So yeah, there are some sounds here that are intense and won't work for everybody, but there are also some sensory toys here that create gentle, calming auditory sounds. Share your ideas with us. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe for more.